Welcome to the UnPhiltered podcast, hosted by me, Katie Aiello.
And me, Nicole Pearson. Here we're chatting all things Philly. We're going to talk about the fun things to do, the fitness scene, the work-life balance, and much more.
And most importantly, it will be authentic, real, and unfiltered. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Welcome to episode 4.
Hey
We're
guys,
back.
we are back. This is Unfiltered Podcast.
Yes.
I'm Nicole.
And I'm Katie, and Katie with Bangs has entered
Katie
the
with
chat.
Bangs is here, officially. I'm obsessed.
I literally did this 5 minutes before I got here.
I know, she actually did not even tell us and then texted us like
My
10 minutes ago.
Going to absolutely kill me. Shout out to Erin. I love you. Please don't be mad at me. It is
Honestly, I would have thought she did them. They look so good.
Honestly.
You're rocking them.
It is what
it
is.
It's really not too much with the glasses. I know we talked about that last week. But
they're honestly too long, and I know that because I started cutting them, and then I was like scared. Because
you're like, I don't want to overdo it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I almost would rather them be like shaggy and too long, and then Erin fixed them.
I mean, absolutely rather than cutting them too short. And
I will say when I was driving here, they definitely were like impairing my vision because they were poking me in the eyeball.
Hey, sometimes
they're dangerous.
They are dangerous.
They're dangerous. So
they look so good though.
Bangs can be dangerous.
Rocking them. I guess I'm next.
Yes. Yeah. Get your bag.
Yes.
Okay. So welcome back.
Yes. Let's do follow up on last week.
Yeah. Last week we went to Rouge.
Yes.
And
it was a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah. It's always dark and moody. It's very like lounge vibe, which I really love.
I like that. Music was good.
But it was loud.
It was loud. There were times I feel like where the music was loud, other times where I feel like just people's conversation was like carrying and loud. So we were sitting close, like right across from each other, but it was almost hard to hear.
Yeah.
But still,
still a good vibe, especially for a Thursday. It wasn't packed, which was nice.
Yes. Still, I feel like people started to like file in later and later.
Yeah.
But yeah, still, I mean, we walked in, we got a seat right away, which was nice. Not overly crowded, which we said that place can definitely get crowded, especially on weekends.
Yeah.
So Thursday was a good vibe.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that we noted was I miss Rouge on like a sunny, like late afternoon, like happy hour vibe. They have the windows open.
A summer day there
is
really
day.
Great. Actually, that was our last summer, or end of last summer, is when we sat across from each other, and I said, I really think it'd be fun to start a podcast.
Yes, that was it.
And you were like, I'd love to start a podcast.
I've always wanted to do that.
And I was like,
so funny.
We should do that.
Yeah, Rouge just gives vibes.
Rouge is actually where Unfiltered was born.
It is.
Technically.
It is. We had to make our way back there, and of course we'll be back. Yeah. But yeah, it was a good time.
It's also in such a great location, too. So we'll definitely be back for that alone.
Yes, right across from Rittenhouse Park. You can't go wrong.
Right next to
Park
itself,
Restaurant. Yes. And the newer one, Bormini, that just opened up as well. Yes.
I've never been.
Such a good spot.
We need to add that to the list for cocktails.
Yeah, we do. I've been there for cocktails a couple times. It's a good time.
Yeah. Good.
So,
and then tonight?
Tonight, we are actually going to Andre Hem.
Andre Hem,
Yes. Andra Hem.
Yes.
So that'll be our first time there, both of us. Katie's actually never heard of it. I've only heard of it because I've walked by it a few times.
Yeah.
It's right across the street from, Bellini.
Yes.
I believe that's an Italian restaurant. So we're going to check that out tonight. Just cocktail vibes.
We're going to start there.
Yes.
It is right around the corner from
Elmira, of course. So we may...
Love Elmira.
We'll probably end up at Elmira.
Probably.
But honestly, it just... Walking by it, it looks cute. Pictures of the interior look cute.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. And it'll be very new for us. So I did mention I wanted us to kind of check out some newer spots.
Yes. Yeah. It'll be a mix of places that we really like.
Yeah.
Just to share like those reviews.
Yeah.
And also very
new spots.
So
yes.
I'm excited for something new.
Yes. So we'll keep you guys posted on that next episode. So this episode, we are chatting about...
Insecurities. Everybody has them.
Everybody has them. And I feel like they kind of develop as we age and they change a little bit.
And you overcome things as you age too, just supernaturally.
So much, yes. Yeah. I could probably go on some long tangents about these.
Yes, me too, honestly. But I do think we should pick maybe top 3.
Yeah, I like that.
Each. Well, I'm sure we'll have common ground on this too.
Always.
I feel like just females, men in your late 20s, early 30s, I think there's a lot of common ground on insecurities.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think over time, as you do overcome them, I think you learn a lot of coping mechanisms. So I'm excited to share my insecurities and tell some stories about it and share what works for me. Again, we've said it before. We're not saying that we've mastered this at all.
I was going to say, and the ones we're still working on.
Totally. We're more sharing this because, you know, if it is something that somebody else is struggling with, why gatekeep?
Yeah.
Something that worked for us might work for you. It might not, but it's worth trying.
I totally agree.
Yeah. And then I think our first one is definitely very common ground, which was starting this podcast.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just the thought of having, like, our voice, our image.
It was hard.
It was hard. Like, do people even care what we have to say?
Yeah. Who cares about us just chatting it up? But I do love that people are listening to it.
Yeah,
We're definitely
honestly,
getting a lot of, like, fun comments.
We have been.
And encouragement.
Yeah, so I feel like it's been very nerve-wracking to get started, but honestly putting us out of our comfort zone has been great. So.
Totally. And I think it helps too where, again, we definitely vibe off of each other all the time. Yeah. So, like, anything that's bothering you, it's easy for me to be like, we just need to push ourselves forward, and vice versa. Anything that's bothering me, you always say, like, the right thing. And it's like, okay, you're right. Who cares?
And I feel like that's kind of been the thing with putting this out there.
Yeah.
Who actually cares?
Literally.
You know, and it's like, if you're our friends, then hopefully you'll be, like, supportive.
Right.
So don't, like, take that pressure and that stress off of yourself.
Yes.
And just realize that, like, people aren't going to like it and people are going to have things to say, but those aren't really the people who are in your core group anyways. So, like, don't stress about them. Don't put that pressure on yourself.
Yeah, and I think it's a good point, too. It's like, I know we're both single, obviously, and we're really putting ourselves out there, being super vulnerable. We're posting these clips and everything on Instagram, and it's like, oh, like, what if I just start talking to somebody and they see
and
this?
they're gonna judge.
I actually think that that's better. I want you to see what I like, who I am, what I actually look like, what I sound like, because if any of that you don't like it,
then good. It's not meant to be.
Yes, it's not meant to be. And, you know, I'd rather you just know that up front instead of wasting each other's time.
That was one of, I think, the biggest, like, nerve-wracking parts for me was that, like, thinking about that and thinking about dating and what they're going to think of. But exactly like you just said, I mean, you're going to, this is who we are. Yeah.
Totally. Like, I can't hide it. Like, we're going to go on a date and you're going to be like, oh, like, this is who this is.
It makes sense.
At least you're getting a preview.
Yes.
But so starting the podcast was super hard. It was something that I still think we're overcoming as we're like choosing topics, you know, but I'm really enjoying that challenge.
Oh, same.
To be honest, like pushing yourself out of your comfort
zone.
It
definitely, I think, has pushed both of us in like such a positive way because it's not easy to do and put yourself out there. So I'm excited that this will like continue to challenge us in that way.
Yep, totally agree.
So you have your other insecurities.
Yeah, so I'll kick us off. Okay. So my first insecurity that I do still deal with today is skin. Mm-hmm. So I actually didn't have acne for a very long time. Like I'd have your typical like pimple here and there. Mm-hmm. I didn't start getting acne until I was an adult.
Oh, that's not common. Okay.
Yes, I want to say I was 24.
Oh, wow, that is old.
Yeah, I was getting ready to move to Arkansas. So Arkansas is a 24-hour drive, you know, or a flight from home. So that was really the first time that I was actually moving away. I went to college.
I was going to say, was it like
2.5 hours away? Yeah, totally. Okay. And, like, it was actually funny because I didn't feel stressed. Mm-hmm. Or maybe I did, and I was suppressing it. And I was just trying to be really positive about it. It was definitely stressful on my body because my skin broke out so bad. Like, I had to go to a dermatologist and go on an antibiotic because absolutely nothing topical was working. Wow. So that happened. And it happened long enough that it left behind some gnarly scars.
Yeah, which you would never think now because your skin looks so beautiful.
Well, I'm excited to share what my journey has looked like because it's definitely not over. Because underneath makeup, I definitely still have a lot of scarring. And I definitely still have stress-induced breakouts. Wow. So I moved to Arkansas. it cleared up. My skin was really, really great when I was there. And so I was there for about a year and a half. And then when I went to move back home, it broke out again. Fully, like bad, like probably worse than the first time. And so I kind of took the same exact approach, tried some topical things, and then went to a dermatologist, got on an antibiotic. It cleared up over a period of time, right? So again, it still left behind some really bad scarring on top of what was already there. And at the time, I wasn't doing anything for the scarring. I was just covering it up. Yeah. I was just glad that I didn't have any active breakouts, to be honest. I was just grateful for that. And then I started, I'm trying to think what happened first. I think I started doing the facials, which I was going to a medical spa, and I was doing microneedling.
Okay. Were you using topicals still at that point?
So when but when I went to the medical spa, honestly, what I was using wasn't working. Okay. Like I wasn't having any of the dark spots changing at all from the topical things that I was using. I also didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest with you. I was using like a benzoyl peroxide, which ultimately doesn't help with dark spots. That's more of like something that kills bacterial, which it helps if you have bacterial induced acne, but I had hormonal and stress induced acne, so like it might have been preventing some things, right?
But it wasn't like fixing
ultimately
the problem.
It really wasn't fixing the problem. So anyways, I went to this medical spa and I basically was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm open to whatever recommendations. And the girl that I still go to today was fantastic. She got me on a brand called Base Reality.
Okay.
And it's really good for acne prone skin. And I bought the entire line basically.
Really?
And between the microneedling that she was doing, paired also with hydrofacials. So like I would do a microneedling and then maybe like 4 or 5 weeks later I would do a hydrofacial. And then a couple weeks later I would go back for another microneedling.
Okay.
And that paired with the line that she put me on definitely cleared up my skin. I was seeing amazing improvement after like the third microneedling. So you don't see it after the first one, in my opinion. I somewhat saw it after the second one. It was the third one where I was like, wow.
And that was like helping with the scarring as well? Wow, that's amazing.
Totally. It helps with a ton of things. Wow. But I was mainly hyper-focused on the scarring.
Of course.
I also care a lot about like fine lines in my forehead.
Yes.
Yeah. We
all do.
That's why a lot of people, like me included, get Botox. But this paired with your Botox is another thing to help, right? Because Botox is just paralyzing the muscles, which inevitably wears off. Yeah. And then I feel like by the time it wears off, I already have fine lines back. So by doing the microneedling and certain topicals in between, that should over time help keep your your skin really young, and it also turns over skin cells, which helps produce collagen. So there's so much to it, and obviously I'm not an expert. I'm more just regurgitating information that I was taught. But
I mean, I'm learning, so this is great.
I highly recommend going to a medical spa. Obviously, your dermatologist is probably really great too, but I've done both, and I would rather go to the medical spa.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay.
And so the face line, the main ingredient in the face line that really helped was a mandelic acid.
Okay.
Which I had never even heard of before that. And it's funny because at the time I was actually working on a skincare brand.
Oh, really?
Yes. So,
wow.
But anyway, mandelic acid has become definitely more of a thing. I think it's over the counter.
Does that just help with like aging spots, sunspots?
It helps with a combination of things. Okay. It's an ingredient that I think helps with anti-aging, but also helps change the dark spots.
Okay, because the only thing that I'm like super familiar with is like very basic like tretinoin.
Right.
You know?
I think...
Which I know that helps with... I mean, you get that prescribed from your dermatologist, and that helps with like aging, sunspots over time. I mean, it's not something that's going to be like a one-time use and it's going to clear everything up. It's something that you have to use like long-term, forever.
I mean, consistency is key.
Yeah, with like all skincare, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. Like a lot of people will buy something and stop
use
using
it for like 1 week and be like, I didn't see any change.
Exactly.
No, you need to be using it for months to actually see change.
100%. Yeah. Or they'll be using a cleanser with an active ingredient in it, and they'll use it consistently, and they'll be like, it's still not working. And I will ask the question, okay, did you put it on and wash it off immediately? Yeah. You have to give the ingredient a chance to work.
Wow, that's really interesting.
So like, I know a minute actually feels extremely long, but when you're washing your face
that's what it
with
needs.
A cleanser with an active ingredient, you really do want to leave it on for at least a minute, which feels like an eternity when your eyes are closed.
Yeah, trying to like actually wash your face and do other stuff.
Totally.
Yeah,
so
you're stuck.
There's so much to it, but when you really have a skin issue that's causing you a major insecurity, that's when you start to become patient and really try to let the ingredient
it makes sense.
work.
Your skin looks amazing, so.
It's difficult, honestly, though, because I've always been looking at full coverage cover-ups and foundations.
Yes. Okay, so that's like where your insecurity comes from as well. Because I know the thing nowadays, like, is trying to look as natural as possible and as less makeup as possible.
Which I would love, but I can't.
Agreed.
Like,
I mean, I even have that insecurity as well. Like, I didn't have issues necessarily with, like, scarring or acne, but I have like rosacea, so it's like I feel like I always have to wear like a full coverage foundation because I don't love the redness like around my face.
Right.
Whereas the thing now is like be as natural as possible. But when we have this insecurity, it's like that's one thing that makes us feel a little bit better.
And since we've already talked about like being single and dating, nothing is worse than trying to date someone and like sleeping over or something.
That is one of my insecurities.
Do I take my makeup off or not? Because if I don't, I'm going to cover this pillowcase with makeup. And if I do, then I'm exposing myself fully. And it's just, I would just simply rather not do either.
Agreed. I know. You're like none of the above.
And that's the worst thing ever, because you're just like, I want to be really comfortable with someone, but at the same time, like that is a huge barrier to overcome. Yeah. But I will say, any guys that I have, because I can't help but explain it. Like if I take my makeup off, I'll have to say something like, "Don't judge my skin." It's just my defense mechanism because I want to address the elephant in the room.
Always like super nice about it.
Extremely. The couple of guys where I did feel that way, they actually would always be like, you're beautiful without makeup. Like, stop wearing the makeup. And I'm like, oh, I can't tell if you're lying or not.
I know, agreed. If anything, you're like, I know, but it's in my own head. So at that point,
So it's something I'm still working on. I still go for the microneedling. I actually have one coming up next week because underneath makeup, it's definitely not gone. It's better than what it was before, but it's still something that I definitely am dealing with. So, if you are dealing with it, I highly recommend looking into a medical spa. Obviously, it's a huge investment, too. So it's, I'm not saying that it's going to be cheap, but it's also your body, it's your skin. If it's something that you wake up every day and it bothers you, that is worth the money.
That's worth it. Yeah, I agree. And honestly, that is going to help with longevity for your skin's health as well. So
totally
worth it. Invest in yourself. Yeah. Maybe buy one less alcoholic beverage and invest on your skincare routine.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Do you want me to do my insecurity?
Yeah.
I want to say, of course, it's going to be like body image. I could go a couple different directions with this, but I was actually going to, if anything, talk about like muscle development. That's always been one of like my insecurities, which is so interesting now that the world is turning into like more like health focused and oriented, and I think more women are strength training now, which of course I appreciate so much. But growing up as a gymnast in middle school, elementary school, high school, I've always had like more of a muscular development than a lot of the girls and guys.
Definitely, especially at that age with our generation. I think that like now generations are starting much younger. So it's easier, but our generation,
when
at that age,
it was uncommon. So I was called all of the names. All of the names. And then, of course, continuing to do gymnastics and strength training throughout high school, then college, and then, of course, post-college. I now, I was seeing the girls with the nice, beautiful little petite arms, and I've always just had very muscular arms, partially because of gymnastics, partially because I love to train and lift heavy. And now that it is becoming more accepted, I think I'm finally, like, accepting that part of myself, but it has taken a long time to, like, love that part of me.
What do you feel like were, like, your coping mechanisms to help you get from there to here?
I used to just, like, I would wear a lot of, like, clothes that were covering up my arms.
Was there a point in time where you stopped doing that and you were like, actually, what I've got going on is fantastic and beautiful, and I worked really hard, and now I actually want to show it off?
I think finally when I started to realize that, like, strength training was becoming more accepted in women.
Totally.
That I finally was like, no, you're a bad bitch.
Yeah. You're actually way ahead of everyone else.
Yes. Like, you can rock it.
Totally.
I think especially with, like, my bodybuilding journey and then being surrounded by so many other women who were muscular like me. And I was like, wow, you guys are hot.
Yes.
Why don't I think that I'm, like, just as beautiful and good looking? And why am I still having a hard time, like, showing my muscles and accepting them? So I think, yeah, once I started to, like, surround myself with that community, then I finally did.
Yeah.
And now that I'm getting a little bit into, like, CrossFit and other avenues of fitness, like, I'm seeing so many other people clearly who are more muscular like me, and it's reassuring. So
it sounds like finding people with similar interests was a huge solve for you for overcoming this insecurity and realizing, oh, actually, like, what I've worked so hard on is actually beautiful, and I look fantastic, and now I actually want to show it off.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, knowing that, like, what is muscle doing for me? It's clearly helping me with everything in life. I can, lift things up if I need to and not have any issue. And I'm going to continue to grow this muscle and the strength.
The independent girlies.
Yes, the independent
Gotta
girlies.
be able to do it themselves.
Yes. And, like, not be growing up into, getting to be middle-aged and older and being frail and not having muscle and, like, breaking bones easy. No, like, I'm always now going to have this strength to, like, keep me upright and hopefully keep me as active as I can be as long as I can be.
Totally. I mean, I also feel like in a very similar way, like, I feel like I've always had very muscular, like, body parts as well, like, especially arms. And I feel the same way. I feel like getting more into the fitness community was definitely more accepting and actually makes you feel more confident.
Yeah, I agree. So we're now loving the strength and understanding that, it has, like, its purpose too. So
being able to look in the mirror and being like, I look good.
I look good.
Is super important. It's not easy, but once you get there, it feels really good.
And I do think that, like, strength training and building muscle has, like, actually helped my confidence more in and out of the gym, just because, like, I feel like when you're in the gym, like, lifting some good weight, like, it's like a little bit of a dopamine rush, and, like, you do feel good about yourself. So you should. As you should. So I actually think that it really has helped me, if anything, like, grow my confidence. So
I love that.
Love it. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
How about you?
I like that one because I definitely can relate to that with fitness. I think my next one would be insecurities around work and career.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is, so my main job is in corporate America, and in every single role, in the first, call it, like, 3 to 6 months, I always feel like I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And I don't want to talk in front of people because I don't want to draw attention to the fact that I don't know what I'm doing, even though I probably do. Yeah. It's an insecurity thing, and a lot of times, anytime I actually got real feedback from colleagues or peers, it was just speak up. Yeah. Because we know that you're the expert actually in a lot of things, but because of the insecurity, I actually was holding myself back a lot in a lot of my roles. I will say, the main coping mechanism, or not coping mechanism, the thing that got me past this really was taking that advice and just speaking up. Yeah. And getting comfortable with asking questions, right? If something would come up in a meeting and I would know, oh my gosh, that's totally, like, my team that should be answering this question. Like, I have no idea how to answer that. Getting comfortable with asking other questions to get more to figuring out, like, how I should answer it, or taking things as a follow-up. Like, just getting comfortable and having that confidence to say, I can definitely find that out for you. I didn't even have that, so I would just be really quiet, and then it looked like I just didn't know what was going on.
I think you actually, like, learn more
by asking questions.
Yes, by asking questions.
So, like, whenever I have somebody reporting into me, whether it's an intern or a co-op or something, that's exactly what I tell them. I'm like, or other analysts that are, I've been in their shoes, I always tell them, you have to get comfortable with asking questions. You are never going to know the question right off the top of your head if you don't start asking questions.
And then that's always going to come up again, and you're still going to not know. So might as well, like, right when it comes up, ask.
Yes, because then 6 months from now, you probably should have asked it 6 months ago, and now it is weird that you're asking it. Yes, totally. So I think it's a confidence thing. It is, again, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Always asking for advice and guidance, too. Always being super open to feedback is definitely how I got over that. And I will say, in each role, that time period of feeling that way gets smaller and smaller. Yeah. To the point where I think in my next role, I probably won't feel it at all. Yeah. Because I'll just feel more prepared, only because I've squashed that. That little bit of insecurity, I've totally squashed it. So that's not even an issue.
Yeah, you're going to go into it and have maybe other things to stress about, but definitely not that.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be like an insecurity. Yeah. And I will say, I felt the same way when I started my business. It took me years to start the business because I was so intimidated by why would a bride ever trust me? Yeah. And that's like rooted in insecurity, because ultimately the talent is there and you can't get better at something until you start doing it. Yeah. So I felt that way for my first couple of weddings. And I will say I was very lucky to have my mom by my side, because she was the one telling me, your work is beautiful. Because I would do a bridal bouquet and then I would be like, this is great, put it aside, and then I would work on 100 other things, and I would go back to it and I'd be like, that is horrific. Wow. And then my mom would come over to kind of like help me tie ribbons on things, and I'd be like, Mom, like, tell me the truth, do I need to take this apart and start over? And she'd be like, that is stunning.
And you're your own worst critic too. So it's definitely hard, I think, to be like subjective in something like that.
And it's a compare and contrast too. Like when you're trying to learn something, I was pulling up Instagram, other florist work, florists that have been in the business for 10, 20 years, and florists that are also doing extremely expensive weddings using extremely expensive flowers. So anyways, if I had to give advice on something outside of corporate America, on like a small business or something, it is stop comparing to that extent, right? It's okay to look for inspo in other people's work, but just trust in your gut and trust in yourself that you do have the talent to do this really, really well.
And just start, because like she said, I mean, you're not going to grow that skill until you start.
Totally. I couldn't believe that I sat on this for so many years.
Because imagine like where you would be now if you had started right when that idea popped up.
Absolutely.
Where would we be if we started this podcast right when this idea came up? I'm just kidding.
That's a good idea.
We only contemplated it for many months.
Yeah, we did. We sat on it for months before we really did anything at all.
mean, there was a lot to go into it, I feel like, that we were overthinking.
We
were just overthinking it,
Yes, overthinking, and definitely in that insecurity of like, do I really want to be on camera? Do I really want to be putting myself out there? It's extremely, you have to be very, very vulnerable to do this. But I'm so glad we did it.
I'm so glad we did it.
I feel really good about doing this. Yeah. Okay, what's your
All right.
next one?
So number 2 for me is I think just being insecure in relationships, and kind of like not knowing if you're enough. Really. And I definitely feel like I needed to I've gone through, I think, some phases where I've dated some really great guys and I've learned so much from them and I've learned so much about myself and who I am. But I think like you just get in your head so easily. And I think that like, it's like, we have a successful career, like I have my own apartment, I live by myself, and like still there's ways where I'm contemplating that what I'm doing is not enough.
That's super relatable though.
Yeah.
I've felt that way in a lot of relationships too. I will say some relationships, I feel like the guys that I've dated have kind of like fed into it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Which I don't love for myself or anyone.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I have a recent example, and they just contemplate, like, are you going to be the one at home cooking? Are you going to be the one at home doing laundry? Are you going to be the one at home, doing all of the other things? Sir, I'm working 40 hours the same that you are.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the end, I think it's just important that you kind of know your worth and know what you bring to the table.
Totally. I also think it's great to have girlfriends to lean on too. Yeah. So like when I tell you or any of my friends a story, if I'm like talking to someone or in a relationship and I'm feeling funny about an interaction or whatever's going on, I sometimes just need someone to be like, you are the best thing since sliced bread. Yeah. And if somebody is not treating you that way, they need to go kick rocks.
Yeah. I think that's just been a thing with me growing up. Like, I never had confidence in myself with a lot of things. So I think that kind of just continued on with dating. Initially, I was just like, I never felt like I was going to be enough or good enough for them. And I did grow up and I didn't have like too many successful, happy relationships to compare it to. So I think that was a hard thing. Yeah. So I think what has actually like helped me get through this and now know my worth and know what I deserve and I select very particular guys when I date, is I actually just had to, as corny as it sounds, like find a way to like love myself and just know my ultimate like self-worth.
Yeah, that's not corny.
Yeah.
That's real. I think that honestly everyone goes through that at some point in their lives in some capacity.
Yeah. Like I feel like I can't give to a partner unless like I fully like am committed to like bettering myself and can like provide like my best self to that person.
Agreed. And it's not on them to help you with that.
Oh yeah, I totally agree.
But the right partner will.
I think the right partner will also help you grow and you can like, you guys can help push each other and end up, you know, growing together as well. So
yeah, but I think I have definitely felt I like have had that question of am I enough? Like is that why I've yet to have like the successful relationship?
The one,
So I definitely think that that's something that I continue to struggle with too. But again, like what I do to try and push myself forward, because I don't always feel that way.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
But what I do to push myself forward is look myself in the mirror and take the same advice that I would give one of my best friends, which is you are amazing. Yeah. You are the best thing since sliced bread. And if someone is not treating you that way, then you just need to move on because somebody else will.
Agreed. I totally agree.
There's also things that I see that really resonate with me as far as like there's like move on because you are someone's dream girl.
Yeah, I totally agree.
You know, and until you feel that way, you just gotta trust
the
process, you know, enjoy the journey, which I do think we do a good job of doing now. We do
such a good job of now.
I've ebbed and flowed for sure on that front, but in the last couple of years, I think I'm definitely enjoying the journey.
I think in my 20s, like that was just like such a hard thing for me to grasp. Yeah. And it just took, I think, a lot of like self-growth to get to where I am now and now know, you know, where I stand and what I deserve.
Yeah. Definitely. I think that also segues into my next one, which is a super hard one for me to talk about, to be honest, because I don't like to draw attention to this, but it is definitely something that I still struggle with today, that I have struggled with my entire life, and like kind of goes hand in hand with this insecurity around not feeling like you're enough in relationships, which is I have a physical, I don't know, challenge. I hate to use the word disability because I can do, you know, like it's not like that. But basically I have something called a brachial plexus injury. And I'm not in the medical field, so I'm going to explain it in layman terms because that's the only way I know how to do it. It's basically when I was born, when the baby's shoulders are too broad, sometimes they'll break the collarbone. And just to kind of get them out, because it usually heals really nicely. However, unfortunately, sometimes when they do that, it can cause nerve damage, which is how the brachial plexus injury happens. So essentially, in very, very layman terms, there are 3 types of nerve damage, right? At least in this like spinal space. The nerve can be plucked completely from the spinal cord. The nerve can be severed. So it's still attached to the spinal cord, it's still attached to this, but it's severed right down the middle. Or the outer layer can be, you know, severed essentially, but not fully through. And I had all 3.
Oh my goodness.
Totally. So what happens once they identify it, which takes a long time, right? Because an infant's not moving.
Yeah, and they can't tell you. So
and then once the infant is supposed to be moving, that is when it's easily identified that they're not moving X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Which in my case was my left arm in general because of what happened in the shoulder, and the doctors will typically see what naturally comes back because sometimes the nerves can actually find their way back together. Not all the time, and it's not likely, but especially when it's just the outer layer has been severed, sometimes that finds its way back together. Yeah. Even the one that was severed can find its way back together, but what was plucked from the spinal cord will never come back. So that's kind of what happened. I did have 2 surgeries done, which are extremely impressive. Yeah. Like, whenever I think about this, I always think, wow, my mom and dad are so strong, and my family that supported them in the time, because they did one of the surgeries here locally, I think it was at CHOP, and that was essentially because when you have nerve damage, right, muscles are not developing because they're not being moved. And so essentially my shoulder, like the socket, it was constantly out of the socket because of what was not developing. Yeah. So that first surgery was simply to like move things around. I really couldn't explain it even if I tried, but essentially that was what they were solving for, and they did successfully do that. Then it was a waiting game, see what happens kind of a thing, see what comes back naturally. And then my mom was absolutely not settled, and I'm an infant. I'm a happy little baby, having no clue that I'm even not able to do certain things. And essentially what the main struggle was at that point was that I couldn't put my left arm over my head. Oh, okay. So I could never put my hair in a ponytail. I could never do my hair, essentially, because I'd be one-handed doing that. So anyways, my mom was like, absolutely not.
Your mom just wanted you to have the best life that you could. So I mean, that's fair.
And she was so strong through all of this, and the family that supported her was so strong too. And I think, so my mom's a nurse at Cooper, and so it was somebody that she worked with that encouraged her to find a certain doctor, or they recommended this particular doctor. I actually don't know the exact story, but essentially there was a doctor in Houston, Texas that was operating on children with this exact disability. Oh, wow. And it's one of those things where a lot of doctors don't want to operate because you don't want to hinder anything that they have.
There's potentially more risk than there is benefit.
Exactly. But this doctor,
you could potentially lose like complete sensation, complete movement.
There's a ton of risk with it, but this doctor had done it a couple of times, or I don't know how many times, but enough times that he felt confident and he wanted to do the surgery. And we flew out there and had the surgery, and it was successful. So I am so grateful because now, a lot of people wouldn't know unless you're working out with me, right?
Yeah. I would have had no idea. And I've worked out with you post other injuries as well, and I still would have had almost no idea.
Yeah. So like, it's usually fitness is the biggest, like the place where people can see it the most, because there's tons of stuff that I can't do or have to do it a little bit different.
Maybe modified.
Exactly. Like bicep curls, for example. I'll mainly do hammer curls because of just some limitations as far as like flipping my wrist all the way over. Wow. Like just things like that. It has never hindered me from trying any sport. The ongoing joke when I was in high school is that I wasn't good at any sport, but I did try every single one. And it wasn't because of the shoulder that I wasn't good at them. Like, it was just, I was not good. So that's definitely a huge insecurity. I feel that way significantly when it comes to dating. I find myself trying to hide it in the first couple of dates because I want someone to get to know me before they see that.
Not have like that judgment.
Totally.
I mean, that's fair, but
it's something that I ebb and flow with as far as accepting it and trying to cover it up because I know that I'm a good partner. I know that I am a good person and have a good heart. So I want people to see that before that they see anything else. Yeah. And I have been in relationships, extremely long relationships too. So I know that there are partners that will think nothing of it. And to your point, there's a lot of people that don't even notice it for a really long time.
But I know that it's easier said than done for you to not have that insecurity.
Absolutely. So that's fair. And there's a huge scar on my back too, where like I've been on first dates where the person's walking behind me and they're like, what's that massive scar on your back? And I'm like, I don't want to talk about that at all right now. But I mean, I will, because ultimately
I mean, it's true, though. They need to accept you for who you are, what you offer, what you bring, and that's a part of it.
But ultimately, an insecurity like that, or all of these insecurities, the way that we manage through them, they make us super unique. Yeah. And that really is our superpower.
Yeah, it is.
Because each and every one of us should feel amazing because we are all so different. Yeah. You know, like
what you've been through has made you who you are.
It has definitely shaped you who you are, and how you deal with things shape you into who you are today. So whether it's a physical thing or whether it's in your head, how you deal with it has definitely shaped you into a stronger, more confident person. Yeah. And that's inspiring in and of itself.
And I think that that's like one big thing is how you kind of can deal with things is like something that changes, I think, throughout life. Oh, totally. You know? And I think with experience and something like that, you know, initially you weren't super comfortable talking about it, but now that you've come to that realization, that conversation has come so much easier. Absolutely. It sounds like.
And again, if I really am dating someone and that is what makes them get the ick or
then they go the other way, they're not the one.
You are absolutely not
and
the
honestly,
one. And that's not the person I want to be with.
I was going to say, and that's good to have done that conversation right away because you don't want to waste your time with that person then.
It's not even that, but it's like I don't think highly of anyone who would feel that way.
Agreed.
You know, like if that is really something that is like, you're like, oh, I couldn't see myself with you forever because of that. I don't know. Something's not right there. Yeah, like, I don't know. Like
something is not right.
That's a characteristic that I don't like at all. And so likewise.
And I was going to say, and you'll know right away. So,
mutually, let's go our separate ways.
Actually, you can drop me off here.
Immediately. Yeah, so yeah.
So I have one more.
Yes.
I mean, I have many more insecurities, but one more that I'll chat about. Sorry for the guys if you guys don't want to hear about this one.
No, actually, I don't feel sorry at all. No? Because I think that they should know.
I think they should know as well.
Absolutely.
I just kind of wanted to talk about the time pressure that women are feeling in their upper 20s and into their 30s. Totally. And it's not discussed about a lot, or it's kind of like joked about that we shouldn't feel this pressure. And the time pressure that I'm talking about is potentially like having kids or, you know, starting a family or not even starting a family, not being in a committed relationship in your upper 20s, younger 30s.
Yeah. And also like when you do get there, like we're both 30, right? Yeah. So as we're thinking about, okay, say I start dating someone tomorrow. Yeah. Realistically, I don't want to have kids with that person for a couple of years. Yeah, and then when I get there, am I going to have trouble trying to do that?
Yeah. And infertility rates are skyrocketing right now. So I think it's for a number of reasons. And it's important to like have these conversations and for men and women to kind of be aware of this and that this is something that we are thinking about. And I think, people do make jokes about it and they tell you not to like stress about it.
Right.
But we all are. Everybody is.
Actually, I think that going off of a couple of our insecurities, I think that a couple of guests would be really great to bring on. One, going back to the skincare, I think it'd be great to bring on somebody in the medical spa space.
Oh, 100%.
And then two, I think it'd be great to bring on somebody who has gone through the process of freezing their eggs.
Yeah, because that was another thing I was going to bring up is freezing your eggs is becoming a little bit more prevalent because of these infertility rates are kind of skyrocketing right now. So I think that would be a great idea to have someone come in and talk about that. And that was one thing that I actually told myself that I would do when I hit,
Me too.
32, 33, and we're coming up, was freezing my eggs because I went many, many years where I had no cycle. So that made me very nervous whether or not I would ever be able to have kids again or not.
And I think a lot of people do deal with that.
Oh, a lot of people. Cycles. Yes, irregular cycles. And I did a lot of work to get my cycle back and regular, but that is something throughout all of those years that weighed on me so heavily because I know that it is impacting so many women. And, your cycle is pretty much like your number one marker for your health. Yeah. And not having that for so many years was something that really stressed me out, and I saw many, many doctors for it, and ultimately got sorted out, and I'm very thankful now. Sucks to have a monthly period, but I'm also like, I would rather have it than to not have it, because now I know that I'm healthy. So yeah, I think that, you know, that's something we should definitely look into talking more about, is getting your eggs frozen, and just something to be comfortable talking about this, like with your partner, or just not having that pressure, that time pressure.
Yeah, I think the main way to, again, we're not masters in this space at all, and I don't even think that I can say that we're both good at this, but I think getting educated is the solution here.
Yeah, I think so too.
Right, getting educated around egg freezing. Yeah. You know, what is your insurance? Does it cover any of this? To kind of give you that
and start that conversation with your practitioner, with your provider, with your gynecologist. I brought it up to mine a couple of months ago, but that's when I was kind of still dealing with all of the other stuff that is now my next priority, now that we got that all sorted out with. So start these conversations, because you don't want to get to the point where you are in a committed relationship, married, and now having these issues. Like, maybe start thinking about them beforehand. Yeah. And that could be one less pressure, one less stress for yourself. Yeah. Because, like Katie said, also, we are both single. Yeah.
And so it's top of mind for sure.
It is top of mind. Yeah. As we are in our 30s, it's something that we definitely want to, we don't take lightly. And it's conversations that we have together and that we want you guys to have too.
Yeah. And I do think you can look out for a guest in the near future.
Yeah, I think so too.
In the next couple of months, I have somebody in mind that I'm hoping that they're open to talking about it. So as long as they are, then we'll definitely have somebody on to talk about their experience through the egg freezing process. Yes. So I think that covers,
I think so,
some of our top insecurities. Insecurities suck, but if I have to find a silver lining, it is that the way that you get past them makes you unique, and it builds confidence, and again, your individuality is your superpower. We are all beautiful in our own ways.
Yeah, and I feel like I always go back to this, but like, loving yourself can really help with some of these insecurities as well, because if you love yourself and you have such a strong group of friends, that's all that really matters. These other people and their opinions, they don't matter.
Not at all.
So
lean on your girlfriends is probably the moral of the story.
It is.
Yes. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for listening. Like we said, we're going to
Andra Hem.
We will keep you posted on how that goes.
Yes. And stay tuned for potential upcoming guests.
Yes,
we
definitely.
will see you guys next time. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Katie.
And this is the UnPhiltered podcast.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.